Toastmaster prayer.
A very good evening, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to meeting number 10 of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. Welcome to yet another power-packed evening full of learning, speeches, and evaluations back-to-back. I am your Sergeant-at-Arms Toastmaster Priya Singh for today's meeting. Before we begin, I would like to highlight some of the important guidelines to ensure a smooth and productive meeting. Our meeting today is for approximately 2 hours. I request all of you to stay for the entire duration of the meeting to get maximum benefit and experience out of it. Kindly ensure your camera is on and your audio is off throughout the meeting unless you're called upon to speak or need to speak during any part of the meeting. While at Toastmasters International, there are no restrictions to express your views on sensitive topics like sex, religion, and politics. Here at the Gabbys, we request all members, participants, and guests to be mindful and refrain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. At the Gabbys, we stand by our club mission, which is to create a productive, supportive, and positive learning space where members build communication and leadership skills, thereby enhancing their confidence and personal growth. The theme for today's meeting is Love, Eat, Pray. So let's start this meeting with a small poem on this theme. In quiet dawn or twilight's hue, love begins in all that we do. A tender glance, a hand held tight, a whispered word that feels just right. We gather together, we break our bread in meals where simple joys are fed. Laughter spills like vintage wine around the table, all hearts aligned. With folded hands and lifted eyes, we pray beneath the open skies for peace within, for strength each day, for love to never drift away. So let us live this life to love, to eat, to kneel and pray. With this, I would now like to welcome our presiding officer for today's meeting, none other than Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goyal. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy is a director and partner at Practive Consulting and Training LLP, a vibrant consulting and training services company which serves MSMEs, nonprofits, and corporates across India. She has more than 10 years of entrepreneurial experience and a strong expertise in business intelligence and data analytics. Nancy is the charter president of the Gabbys and currently serving as the vice president education of the Gabbys Club. So let's put our hands together for our presiding officer, Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goyal. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. Eat, Pray, Love. What a beautiful poem you have just narrated for all of us. Can we have a round of applause for such creativity that was just oozing out right now through Toastmaster Priya Singh, our Sergeant at Arms? Thank you. Thank you so very much for starting this meeting on such a beautiful note. On this beautiful note, I would like to welcome all our guests and Toastmasters to this meeting number 10 of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. I see a lot of guests who have joined our meeting. Well, I'll be talking to each one of you and getting to understand where you're joining us from and how did you get to know about our club. Can we have a quick check with all the guests? I see G. Govind.
Hey, that's me.
Yes. Hi, Govind. A quick 30-second introduction about yourself. Would you like to share with all of us?
Oh, sure, why not? I'm from Dell Technologies. I was invited to this by my fellow Toastmasters from Dell Sukti. I'm based out of Bangalore. I am part of the Dell OEM pre-sales team, and my 19th year in Dell. I am basically a Tamilian now, settled in Bangalore for about a decade plus. That's in brief about me.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Govind, for sharing about yourself. If I'm not wrong, is that Rajesh who shared these details with you?
Yes, it was.
Yes. Rajesh is a very dear friend to the Gabbys Toastmasters Club, and he keeps on sending people from Del Sukti whenever we have an educational session.
That
Having
he
said
did.
that, I hear it from one of our guests who's just asking, do we have an educational session today? Yes, Vivash, we do have an educational session today. But before that, can you quickly introduce yourself, a quick 30-second introduction, where you're joining us from, who you are, and how did you get to know about us? Vivash, are you around? Okay, your microphone is not working. No problem. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat box. In the meanwhile, I'll quickly ask Suma. Suma, your Toastmaster, quick 30-second introduction about you.
Hello, good evening to Toastmaster Nancy Goel and all the fellow Toastmasters over here. It's nice connecting with you all. I'm from Kerala and I love the city of joy. Right now, I'm residing at Kolkata and I'm working as a fitness and fitness consultant and administrative head of Beyond Yoga Fitness Studios. It's nice connecting with you all for today's meeting. Looking forward for a wonderful learning session with you all today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suma, for joining us all the way from City of Joy. As I hear it from you, I also see Vivash writing it to me that he is also from Kolkata. No wonder we have people joining from Kolkata and many other places. Thanks to our educational session. So I know we have a couple of more guests today, but in the paucity of time, I would request all of you to quickly introduce yourself in the chat box so that we get to know you more and we would be able to interact with you during the session or afterwards whenever there's some time in the agenda to interact with you. Otherwise, towards the end of the meeting, we would love to have your feedback, anything you would like us to improve upon or anything that you particularly like during the session. So stay with us for the entire session and let us know what did you like about us. Well, it's time for me to introduce a little bit about Toastmasters. I think most of us who are Toastmasters, we know that it's a 100-year-old organization started in 1924. But the ones who are guests, who are not Toastmasters, are the ones who probably don't know that we have got a meeting structure. We have got a regular meeting structure in most of the Toastmasters club across the world. However, at Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club, we have got a slightly different meeting structure. Every week, we have got an educational session followed by prepared speeches that people pick up from their pathways education program, whatever path they have selected. From their projects, they pick up speeches and deliver their speeches here and practice their public speaking skills. And that's where they get an advantage of having two evaluators evaluating them, both on content and delivery. So you will find a very different structure in this meeting. If you are looking for a regular meeting structure, then you can find us on Saturdays as well, where we have regular meeting structure, regular meetings happening. So we meet twice a week. Having said that, since we meet twice a week, twice the opportunities and twice the drama, twice everything in terms of what we do. And that's where we have packed twice the awards. When I say twice the awards, it means the Global Membership Award. We have recently backed Smedley Membership Award, which is a global membership award that is given to a club by adding 5 members to a club during the period of August to September, 1st August to 30th September, and the Gabbys as well as the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club, both the clubs put together, we have bagged the awards for both the clubs. So that's the drum rolls, please, news for all of you. Apart from this, we are still adding more and more members. It's still not stopping anywhere. I'm sure we are going to cross 100 members put together, both the clubs. It's just raining members, cats and dogs, just like it's raining in Bangalore here. So I already see one of our reinstated member, Jitendra Hulania, smiling on the camera, Prapurna sitting on camera and smiling. All of these are the new members who have just joined us very recently. We welcome you to the Gabbys family. In this meeting, what are you going to expect? I think I have already covered. It's different, but one thing that remains same is the MC. I am not the MC of the meeting. I am not the Toastmaster of the evening. We have got a very different person who's going to take forward this meeting from here. But before I introduce this person, I would like to mention that language evaluator for today is Prapurna. And I request Prapurna to share the word of the day over chat so that all of us can use this word of the day as and when we are speaking. Please do mention it over the chat with the meaning so that we know what we are talking about. Okay, that's done. No, not yet. Okay, I'll give you some time, Prapurna, to share the word of the day in the chat box. In the meanwhile, let me hand over this meeting to our meeting baton to our Toastmaster of the evening. Our Toastmaster of the evening today is an experienced IT professional specializing in regulatory compliance and IT systems governance. More importantly, he is an ex-Toastmaster who was working with TCS, who was part of TCS Toastmasters Club. Right now, he's part of the Gabbys family from last 5 months. Someone who's a long-standing guest who joined our meetings for a long time, months over months, week over week, more than our own members joined our meeting. He's someone who's dedicated enough to ensure that, okay, he's joining the right club. So please put your hands together for our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Shravan Kumar Venkeshwaram.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy, for a warm introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I am Shravan, your Toastmaster of the evening. Our theme today is Eat, Love, and Pray. 3 simple words, yet they reflect the essence of life. Eat, nourishing not just our body, but also our minds and soul. Love, the energy that binds us to each other and to our purpose, isn't it? Pray, the quiet reflection that keeps us grounded, grateful, and mindful. As we journey through today's meeting, let's see how these 3 words can inspire us to grow as speakers and leaders and as a better humans. Before going to start, let me introduce the structure of today's meeting. First, we will have an educational session today. After that, I will introduce the general evaluator, and after that, the prepared speeches will be executed. After prepared speeches, we will conclude with the evaluation. Now, before handovering the stage to our guest Toastmaster DTM, distinguished Toastmaster Rohan Nag, I would like to introduce the timer to ensure the educational session is on time. Today's timer is an impactful communicator, a territory business manager, a recent entrant to the corporate world, juggling with never-ending tasks. He is none other than Toastmaster Gurdit Singh. I request Toastmaster Gurdit Singh to deliver the timer role for today, role objectives.
Thanks a lot, TMOD Shravan, and good evening to everyone. As the timer of the today, my role is to keep track of all the speeches and all the evaluations and help speakers to stay within the allotted time. and I'll keep track of all the speeches, evaluations, and for the prepared speeches, the allotted time limit is 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll be showing different cards at different timings. Green card will be representing that the speaker has reached the qualifying limit, and the yellow card will be shown at 6 minutes for prepared speeches, and the red card will be shown that the speaker has reached the maximum time, and it will be at 7 minutes for prepared speeches. And for evaluation, the evaluation time is 2 to 3 minutes. So the green card will be shown at 2 minutes, and yellow card at 2.5, and the red card at 3 minutes. And thanks a lot. And back to you, TMOD.
Yeah, and also could you share the educational session timing guidelines also, Toastmaster Gautam? You're speaking on mute. All right. Let me introduce today's educational speaker. Before we dive into our prepared speeches, we have an enlightening educational session lined up. Today's educational speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Rohan Nag. Distinguished Toastmaster Rohan Nag is a seasoned corporate leader, a certified trainer, and a dynamic communicator with over 10 years of experience in strategy, branding, and service leadership at a central public sector enterprise under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. As a trainer, he has conducted 75 plus workshops for top corporates and institutions, focusing on public speaking leadership, communication, and a self branding, a dedicated Toastmasters since 2018. Toastmaster Rohan has delivered over 200 speeches globally, mentored 150 plus individuals, and earned 3 distinguished Toastmaster titles. His leadership accolades include being named the world's #1 division director for the year 2021-2022 and the second best area director in District 41, a 2-time district speech contest champion, former national level debater, and first division cricketer. Toastmaster Rohan brings passion, discipline, and empathy to everything he does. We are so uh, we are so privileged to have you, DTM Rohan Nag, here. So he's going to deliver his educational session on winning the table topic mind games. Toastmaster Rohan Nag, your stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shravan. Thank you very much. During such times when I get the introductions, I always pray that either my boss from work or my boss at home, my wife, are there in the meeting to understand maybe how great I am. In their eyes, I tend to fail at that. But thank you very much, Shravan. You are very kind. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed with the education session, I owe all of you an apology, the GOAT family, because I was supposed to take this session in August, but due to a medical issue that I am currently battling, I was not able to take that session. But Saurav sir was very kind to defer the session time for me, and here I am presenting the session on the table topics mastery. And as sir had told me about how to master this particular part of Toastmasters International in context of a mind game. So that's why I have written, you speak sharp, you think smart, and you win hearts. In all of these three, we need a very, very active mind. Now we have roughly 20-25 minutes for this session. So I will quickly delve into 7 things, just 7 things, divided into 2 parts. The first 4 parts are simple tricks that you can do when you are attempting a table topic, the do's, and 3 things that you shouldn't do. Try and avoid when you're attempting a table topic. So now I will quickly
jump into the do's, or what I call the four tricks that you can do in your mind when you are attempting a table topic. The first trick is called the pause of power. Remember, in evaluation, many times we give the feedback to our speaker to use the power of the pause. Maybe at the time of delivery of humor, time of delivery of an emotion. So why can't we also do that when we are attempting a table topic? The rule states that the first verbal or non-verbal interaction that the speaker has with the audience, the timing starts. So maybe you can take an additional 2 to 3 seconds, pause, calm down, let your mind process the topic, and then you start. Now I'm going to say something that may be a bit contradictory to what people generally say, but I'm speaking from experience. Do not, ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, do not always go with the first thought that comes in your mind when you hear a table topic. If you take that pause and use it as your power trick, there is a possibility that your second thought or your third thought, and there is nothing faster in this world than our thoughts. There's no limitation to imagination, as it is said. So maybe just the second thought or the third thought can give a much more holistic approach to you when you're attempting your table topic. Give yourself that power, give your mind that power to process the topic a bit longer. The pause of power. The second trick is a three filter thinking. Now, the power that you give to your mind by taking that pause, right? You do not try and speak immediately with the first thought that comes to your mind. If you give yourself, your mind, that additional 2 to 3 seconds, you can give your mind the ability to filter the topic to three things. The first thing, the first sieve, if I may use that term, is personal. Once you hear the topic, analyze and think if you can talk about something that is personal to you. When I mean personal, it always doesn't necessarily have to be from your life. It can be from the life of your friend, a teacher, your boss, your parents, your pet, a friend, your better half. This is a wrong concept that when we say about bringing in a personal story, it has to be about I, me, and myself. No. A personal story, what basically it means is a story from your life that is unique to you and your life. So that is the first sieve you can put your topic through and think that whether you can bring in something from your personal life and say the topic. The second sieve, the first sieve is personal, the second sieve is universal. Can you think of a universal story, a story of a famous personality that you can connect with the topic? Maybe a Sachin Tendulkar, maybe a Sushmita Sen, maybe Narendra Modi, maybe Martin Luther King Jr., maybe Alexander the Great, anyone, any famous personality, something from his or her or their life that they have done, achieved, perhaps not able to achieve, maybe a failure. The fact that Thomas Alva Edison failed 1,000 times to create a bulb, but he said, I learned 1,000 times how not to make a bulb. So if you can bring in a universal concept, something that is absolutely universal, and take your pick on the topic. And the third sieve, again repeating, personal, universal, and third sieve can be something unusual. Maybe you can go against the topic. You can bring in some humor. Maybe you can take the topic as it is literally, but bring in a spiritual twist. Do something that is unusual. Do something that perhaps your competitors' perspective of a contest would not do. That will enable you to stand out. So these are three sieves, a three filter thinking that you can put the topic through, that you can then utilize and deliver your speech. Now, when I mean three filter thinking, that does not mean that you can't use a combination of two of these or three of these. If you are someone who is comfortable in sharing a personal story, a universal story, and bringing a twist in your topic, go ahead and do it. Absolutely. But as the topic says, the given to me is changing the mind game. This is how you can start training your mind to think when you listen to a topic. Number three, trick number three is begin with the end in mind. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the 7 habits of highly effective people, where Stephen Covey says that when you start a topic, any topic, know what is the end goal. And then you start working towards that end goal. In a similar way, if you can think of an end goal, what is the message or the call to action that you want to give to your audience members after your 2 minutes, 10 seconds, 15 seconds take on the topic? Then the topic, when you hear it, to what you want to end, the middle part is just the connection, is just the bridge. It becomes that much more convenient. If you can think that, okay, this is the message I want to give to my audience, this is the action I want to tell my audience to do when I finish my take on the topic, this is the value from my life or the value from the life of, let's say, Steve Jobs, that I want to share with my audience members, this is what I can speak on. This is the topic, the starting of the topic. This is the end message. And what you say from the start to the end is just a bridge that is connecting the topic to the message. And trick number 4. Now, for this, I have a question. You can see there are some images that are there in this slide, totally 8. Can anyone unmute at your choice and tell me what those images are? Anyone? What do you think they are? What are they representing?
Magic in some
Characters.
form or the other.
Fantastic. Magic. Brilliant. Anything else? I heard someone else respond.
Story characters.
Characters. Okay, ma'am. Can you tell me characters from where?
Harry Potter.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Harry Potter. The first one is Harry Potter. The second one is Tom Riddle or Lord Voldemort. And the third one is Albus Dumbledore. I'm forgetting his big name. And the fourth one is Severus Snape. Now, the wands that I have used are the wands used by these characters to try and show the 4 most powerful wands in the Harry Potter series and the 4 very powerful wizards of the Harry Potter series. And I am trying to equate those wands and the characters of Harry Potter to each of the trick, magic trick, mind trick that you can use while delivering your take on a table topic. The point I'm trying to make is, I am trying to associate an image in your mind with the point that I'm trying to put across. That is trick number 4. Speak in images. During those 2 minutes 15 seconds, 2 minutes 20 seconds, if you can bring in a scene from a famous movie or a famous victory of, let's say, the Indian cricket team, or a certain happening from across the world, a pop culture item, maybe a Coldplay concert that may have happened in your city. If you can bring in an image in your take and put that image in the minds of your audience, ladies and gentlemen, it is said that a picture speaks 1,000 words. In 2 minutes 20 seconds, you cannot speak 1,000 words. But if you can create that image in the minds of your audience members, imagine those 1,000 words accentuating the 200, 300 words that you speak in those 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Imagine the kind of impact that can have in the minds of the people listening to you. In my contest speech, right, the topic was satire is a lesson, parody is a game. In my contest take, I had said, there is no satire, there is no parody. Every story is a lesson. And then I brought in that famous dialogue from the movie Three Idiots, where Ranchod Das, Shamal Das Chanchar says, knowledge is everywhere. Keep your eyes and ears open and imbibe the knowledge that is there around you. I was able to bring in, create that image of Ranchod Das, Shamal Das Chanchar in that college, saying that to his professors in the mind of the audience. The mind was doing all the work. All I had to do was just bring that in to accentuate my take on the topic. If this is something you can pull off, and believe me, this is possible. I'll tell you how it is possible as well. If you can pull this off, your impact that you're going to enjoy in the minds of your audience members and your judges is going to be phenomenal. So remember, Harry Potter is the pause of power. Voldemort is three filter thinking. Albus Dumbledore is begin with the end in mind. And Severus Snape is speak in images. 4 tricks that you can employ when you are attempting your table topics next. Now, these, ladies and gentlemen, are the do's that you are going to do in your table topic. But as we talk about the yin and yang, the cosmic balance, there has to be a balance in the world. I'm going to share with you the don'ts, the 3 major don'ts that you should avoid while attempting a table topic. Now, here as well, I'm going to use some images, trying to create an image in your mind. With a raise of hands, how many of you are aware of the Lord of the Rings? Just a raise of hands, the Lord of the Rings. You've heard of it. Okay, Shravan has, Nancy ma'am has. I can't see the others on screen. So if hands are going up, okay, Jitinder has, fantastic. Jay, brilliant. Now, Lord of the Rings, for the ones who have not heard about it, was written by Tolkien, brilliant writer. And it's about an imagery world, right? In which different forces are fighting with each other. Now, even in Lord of the Rings, there are villains, dangerous, magical villains. So I'm going to equate those 3 major villains from the Lord of the Rings with the 3 villains that you should avoid while taking the topic. The first villain was Sauron, the Dark Lord Sauron, exceedingly powerful. And to equate that is giving away your take quickly. If you have a topic, the grass is always green on the other side. Random topic. If you say, yes, I believe in this, automatically your audience knows what you're going to speak on. You've lost the element of surprise. You've lost the ability to twist the topic, maybe somewhere in the middle. Because if in the middle you twist the topic and the starting you've already said, I agree with the topic, then you're contradicting your own self. That is suicidal in a contest. Never contradict your own self. So never give away your take on the topic soon. Speak on it, do audience interaction, bring in a story, build it up, right? Never be in a hurry to disclose what's in your mind. Let your audience think, let your audience's mind work along with you. If you can pull that off, I can imagine the impact you're going to have. The second villain was Saruman. He was a great wizard, Saruman the White, but he became evil and became Saruman the Colorless. He started following the Dark Lord Sauron. So point number 2 follows point number 1, that is rambling on. Going on and on and on the topic without bringing in different aspects pertaining to the topic. What can be a different aspect? Like I said, a personal story, a universal story, some humor, a twist. You go against the topic. If you can just going rambling on, it becomes more like preaching. You're just trying to pass on some knowledge or something very spiritual to your audience members. That doesn't really have kind of an impact that you would want as a contestant. So do not go rambling on. Bring in different twists and turns. I just heard some noise. Any questions? Okay. And the last villain is the Witch King of Angmar. The Witch King of Angmar followed Saruman the Colorless, and that is a weak ending. Ladies and gentlemen, remember in a contest there will be multiple participants. You need to have the maximum impact in the minds of the judges and your audience, because judges are sitting amongst the audience. So if the audience is reacting to you in a positive way, is giving a lot of positive vibes to your take on the topic, it will have an impact on your judges. Audience is very important. Never have a weak ending. Remember that concept, what's in it for me? If I am giving you 2.5 minutes of my life, what am I taking away? So never have a weak ending. End with a message. You can connect your ending with the beginning of your take on the topic, end with a call to action. Remember, in the earlier slide, I had said, begin with the end in mind. Point number 3, the Dumbledore of the 4 tricks with the Elder Wand. In the same way, I'm just ratifying that again. Never ever have a weak ending. You may have a brilliant take, a brilliant story, a universal story, a personal story. You can have a humor, but if your ending is not impactful, if your ending does not land, you have lost the plot. So have a very strong ending, and that is possible when you use the power of pause and begin with the end in mind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how can you do these things that I've stated? Very, very simple. Again, just 3 things. Number 1 is have a story bank. What is a story bank? It is said that table topics is an impromptu speech contest. Agreed. Point respected. But that does not mean you can't prepare for it. A story bank will help you prepare for it. Create a list of stories from your life, from your personal life, social life, professional life, or some aspect of life that interests you. Let me tell you about myself. I love history. Okay, I can visualize history like not many people can. So when I study something from history, I tend to remember it. So I have in my story bank, which is currently at number 63, I have 63 stories, out of which about 50 to 55 are stories about historical characters. The balance 10 to 12 from my personal life. Now, when I was preparing for my contest, I would read those stories every day 2 to 3 times. Believe me, at one point of time, I started hating that sheet of paper. How many times can you read the same thing? But what happened is when the contest came, and the moment I heard the topic for the first time, in a contest, a topic is always repeated one more time. So the moment I heard a topic for the first time, I had not only a universal story, but even a personal story in my mind. All I had to do with my power pause was figure out how to end. If you can have a story bank, that will help you in a very big way. Point number 2 is practice. Bruce Lee had said, I do not fear the man who knows 1,000 kicks, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 1,000 times. That is the power of correct practice. So explore the world, attend club meetings, listen to what other people are saying on a topic, raise your hand. The more you practice, the better you get. And number 3 is very important, reflect. Once you have taken an attempt at a table topic and you've done a fantastic job, I'm sure you're going to do it, a brilliant job. But that should not stop you from pushing yourself to think what more you could have said, what another story you could have brought in. Maybe the entire take was on a universal story. You could have then pushed yourself to think, okay, could I have said something about my personal life? Could I have brought in a humor? Could I have gotten that twist? When you start pushing your mind to think, you're actually training your mind to start using those three filters simultaneously. Remember Voldemort, the three filter rule? Yeah, I hope you do. Color is green. Voldemort also used to wear green. So that, please reflect. Do not stop yourself from thinking more. The more you think, the more you practice, the more story bank you can add. Perhaps today I'm in a meeting and ma'am, I'm taking your example, please pardon me. Let's say Nancy ma'am delivers a fantastic take and her story is about, maybe she brings in um, Sanjeev Kapoor in her story. I'm just taking a random example. Brilliant. I noted down in just maybe one or two lines. So that adds to my repertoire of stories. How do I know maybe a topic can come someday where I can use that story and win the contest? So create a story bank. Please work on it. I'm giving you my number. I have 63 stories today and it keeps on adding. Number two, practice. Practice correctly, practice well. And number three is reflect. Take feedback, sit with your mentor, visit different clubs, listen to different people, and push your mind to think what you could have done differently. You do these three things, those four tricks and those three villains will be taken care of. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I come to an end of this session. As I have written it very clearly over here, it's not about being perfect. It's all about being authentic. It's all about being you on stage. So when the moment you can show your true self, right? What you are all about, what your mind is thinking, what your mind is all about, that I'm sure will help you bring that holy grail home. So thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we still have some more time. Any questions that I can answer?
So
Please.
can you please tell quickly those three power tools, please?
Sure, ma'am. Number one is personal story. Oh, I beg your pardon. You want the power tools? Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Number one is a story bank. Create a story bank. Okay, a list of stories in a book. Read through those stories every day because the more you read, the more familiar your mind will get and the recollection power will be faster. I assure you, you do this for 10 days. In the 11th day, the moment you hear a topic, one story is going to pop up. It will, it's bound to happen. You can equate one story with a topic. Second is practice, but practice the correct way, right? Within time, the way you would deliver it with hand gestures, with body language, with pauses, with sincerity. Practice as if you are a contestant, right? That will help you better. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, I was at one point of time a first division cricketer in the in CAB, the Cricket Association of Bengal. Now, at that point of time, I got the opportunity to see a lot of cricketers closely, right? Not interacted with many of them, they're big guys. I've been able to observe them, not in front of the camera. I remember there was a training session going on in Eden Gardens, and I was there, and the Indian team was there. Okay, you had Saurabh, you had Dravid, Lakshman, you had the big names of the Indian cricket team, and there were somebody was in t-shirt, somebody was wearing a sleeveless, somebody was in shorts, and they were practicing and they were batting and they were bowling. And then one gentleman walked into the field, dressed in pristine white, wearing the cricket gear the way it is meant to be worn, went, batted for 2 hours, 2 hours continuously, and went back to the dressing room. Can anybody take a wild guess who that gentleman was?
Sachin Tendulkar.
Absolutely. That man came out to do net practice the way he would play the West Indies cricket team. That was a series that was going on in that pitch. on the pitch, I beg your pardon, in that test series. That is how he came out to practice. And believe me, I don't remember much of that day. I was just allowed one day to be there because there were many other cricketers. But that was an image that had just got stuck in my mind. And just to let you know, Sachin is not my favorite cricketer. Don't hate me for that. But that is the power of discipline. That is the power of proper practice. And number three is very, very simple. Reflect. Push yourself to think what you could have done more, what other take you could have brought in, what other story you could have brought in. The more you reflect, the more you push your mind to think deeper. And that will slowly, slowly open up your mind even more. It's all about the mind game. I hope that answers your question, ma'am.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. I'm new to
Pleasure,
Toastmasters.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure, ma'am. Wishing you the very best.
So how can we get connected to this group very often? Like, how do we get connected to this group?
Nancy, ma'am, if you can kindly. Ma'am, you're not clearly audible.
I'll share the link of the guest group in the chat box.
All right, will be nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll answer. I think Gauri has already answered this question for you, but I have a clear distinction of traveling down from Bangalore to Kolkata to hear DTM Rohan's speech that he's talking about, as well as his evaluation speech. So I'll rather moderate this session for you wherever we have questions from the audience. So I'll read it out for you so that you can answer those for our audience, and wherever I need to pitch in, I'll surely pitch in. But I really loved the session, I must say. So brilliant and very clear session,
Thank you,
DTM
ma'am.
Rohan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Here is your question from
Yes.
Priya. What
Yes.
if you don't understand the table topic given to you to speak on? How do you attempt it?
Fantastic. Nancy ma'am was there. She will understand. The topic that was given to me in the in my contest was satire is a lesson, parody is a game. You know, and I was looking at the contest chair, the contest master. She's a brilliant lady, and I was thinking, what on earth have I done to you? Right? At that point in time, ladies and gentlemen, nothing came into my mind. So if you remember, in the conclusion I had written, if I can just share it again, if I can just share it again. The first point, if you can just read. When you don't know what to say what you feel. At that point in time, in my mind, I could not figure out how to justify the topic or go against that particular topic, that satire is a lesson, parody is a game. So my thought process was, again, the twist and those seeds, okay, those three principles, is just go against the entire topic. So what I said was, there is no parody, there is no satire. Every story is a lesson. Parody and satire kind of diminishes the impact of a story, makes it humorous, makes it crude. And then I went on to say that I always thought my teachers know nothing, my bosses know nothing. That brought in humor. And then I turned back and said, my wife says I know nothing. So that brought in the humor. That's a twist. I can see Nancy ma'am smiling, Priya ma'am smiling. Great. So that brought in the twist. And then I went on to say, I brought in that image of Ranchod Da Shamal the Chanted, which I repeated, that everywhere is knowledge. So don't sift out something thinking it is a parody or it is a satire. Do not judge anyone else's story without bearing his or her shoes. So I had no idea what to say about the topic, but in my mind, just the concept came, negate the entire topic. And that's exactly what I did. So, like I said, if you don't get the topic at that point in time, just say what you feel. Take the topic as a whole. You can even split it. If you understand what it means, split it. Talk of the first half, see what you can do about the second half. This will come with practice. I can tell you, because I like to maintain records, from 22nd of May 2024 till 15th of May 2025. The contest was on 16th of May. I had done a total of 137 table topics. Attempted, not reflected, just attempted. So I'm not trying to show off. I'm just stating that practice in the right way with proper reflection and feedback will help you. And please, as you go higher, you graduate from club to area to division to district, the topic is going to get tougher. So the more you practice, the more comfortable you will be in dealing with the situations. I hope that answers the
Thank you.
question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for answering this question. I see one more question, which is on the same line, so probably we don't need to answer this. Toastmaster Rekha, I see you have asked this question. What if we don't understand the tough question? How to handle that situation? That's pretty much covered. If not, please feel free to share your question again. I also see the red card, so I'll probably ask my last question from you, TTM Rohan. I'll take this opportunity, seizing the opportunity at hand. So my problem with the table topics is that by the time I reach towards the end of my speech, I forget the topic. I forget what was asked. So, or how do I end it if I don't even remember what the topic was? So how to handle that kind of a situation?
Brilliant, ma'am. So, ma'am, I will just again go back to my session and just talk to you about trick number 3, which was Albus Dumbledore. What was the topic? Begin with the end in mind. So if you already, when you are starting to speak on the topic, when you are analyzing the topic, when you're hearing the topic during that power pause, and you're able to justify or not justify, you're able to decide what is the end goal that you want to achieve, what is the message you want to give, you really don't need to remember the topic, do you? Because
Right.
you just need to put in the message which you have thought, and that obviously is going to be there because it has come to you naturally. So remembering the
Right.
topic doesn't really become that important now, does it?
I think that's a fair point that you have brought up. And with this, I'll just answer one last question. Someone has asked, do we have the recordings? Yes, we will be posting the recording within 24 hours of this session. One more question I think we can take right now. How to manage this much things in mind, also keeping other things in mind, words, movements, punchlines. Akash, I think it's about practice. I'll leave it to DTM
Yes,
Rohan
yes,
to
yes.
answer
Practice,
this.
practice. It all comes with practice. It becomes what we call muscle memory. So when you're driving, right, you're doing so many things. Okay, there's accelerator, brake, clutch, and then the gear, and you're looking at the traffic, and you're seeing people going around. You're shouting at some of them, right? You're doing so many things. We're doing it naturally because it becomes muscle memory. So the more you practice, automatically your being starts doing very those things, in a very comfortable way. So automatically those things become not that important because it becomes a part of your being. Becomes very easy.
Muscle memory reminds me of the accounts that I look at my clients and I just keep on, instead of listening to them, I keep on counting their hours and notes. That's how Toastmasters trains us. But thank you. Thank you so much for all your answers, DTM Rohan. And anyone who has any further questions, feel free to type it in the chat box. I'm sure he will be around for another few minutes during the break time. He will be answering your questions. With this, I would like to hand it over to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much, DTM Rohan. Brilliant session with so much of clarity. I just loved every bit of it. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Over
ma'am.
to you,
Thank you very much,
Toastmaster
ma'am.
of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy. Thank you, DTM Rohan, for that insightful session. You have introduced, you have brought a mental picture on our mind with 3 great movies. One is Harry Potter, Lord of Rings, and the Three Idiots. So it was really fantastic. Just like how food fuels our body, your session has given us food for thought to elevate our Toastmasters journey. Thank you so much. I request everybody give a big round of applause to DTM Rohan. With that, We conclude our education session for today and we'll take a short break for 5 minutes and we will be back with our next session of this meeting. Stay tuned. Our Gabbys. Hello everyone, welcome back to Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club meeting for today. I hope you had an ample time for relax after completion of an invigorating educational session by DTM Rohan. Now, let us step into more exciting part of this meeting, that is prepared speeches meeting. Before we start the prepared speeches, let me introduce today's general evaluator, who is going to introduce the rest of the role players. Today's general evaluator is Toastmaster Yogita Upadhyay. Toastmaster Yogita, a joyful and people-loving soul, thrives as an HR and soft skills trainer. Beyond work, she loves dancing, mind-bending books, exploring new places, and experimenting with. Guess what? It's one of the word in our theme, that is food. She's going to conduct the evaluation for today, and I request her to explain her role objectives and introduce the rest of the role players. Toastmaster Yogita, stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shravan. Thank you for handing over the stage. The general evaluation segment will comprise of the evaluations and the rest of my TEL team. So the timer is already introduced. I would not like to take a lot of time here because we are waiting for the speeches. Coming towards the language evaluator, we have Toastmaster Prapurna as the language evaluator of the day. Toastmaster Prapurna is a structural design engineer at Amberg Engineering. She hails from Vishakhapatnam and works in Gurugram and has been a Toastmaster since 2024. She has quickly taken up on leadership roles such as VP Education, and now she's serving her second term as VP membership at Gurgaon Orators Toastmasters Club. Welcome to Gabby's Toastmaster Prapurna, and please share your role for the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. As a language evaluator, I play a unique role in today's meeting. My job is to focus on how effectively language enhances or detracts from communication. This role is a thoughtful blend of three traditional responsibilities: one, accounter; second, grammarian; and the third, word master, but with a twist. I will be noting filler words and sounds like a, you know, like, or repeated words, but only when they interfere significantly with speech clarity or impact. Word usage, highlighting both impressive language and areas that could benefit from better choices, especially around pronunciation, sentence construction, and rhetorical devices. And finally, the word of the day. Today's word is amiable. Amiable means having or displaying a friendly and pleasant manner. Its usage: an amiable friend of mine gifted me a watch on my birthday. Coming to the idiom of the day, full of joys of spring. Its meaning: feeling very happy, cheerful, or lively, often in a way that seems fresh or renewed. Usage: I am full of joys of spring when I purchased my first cycle. So I will share my observations in concise summary towards the end of the meeting. Everyone are encouraged to use the word of the day and idiom of the day meaningful in a meaningful and natural way. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prapurna. Can we have a round of applause for the wonderful lady, please? And my amiable language evaluator, has explained her role very wonderfully, nicely. Moving forward, we have Toastmaster Michael Joshua as the listener of the day. And as a listener, he would be observing what we are speaking. So be cautious of what you're speaking because Prapurna will be evaluating. if you're right or wrong, and be cautious to even listen so that you don't miss on any chance. Michael is the founder and CEO of Mike Josh Cybersecurity, has 14 plus years of experience securing businesses at Infosys, Wipro, and EY. Now leading his own firm, he helps organizations protect digital assets, and he has joined Toastmasters to enhance his public speaking skills, share his journey, and learn from the community. Over to you, Toastmaster Michael.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a listener of the day, I will pay close attention to our amiable participants, what is being said, from speeches to the evaluations and everything in between. At the end of the meeting, I'll pose a brief questions with full of joys of spring to check how attentively we all have been listening. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Michael. So I, along with my TEL team and my team of evaluators, will be observing this meeting quite vividly and will come up with our reports at the end of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita. I hope everybody understood who is going to play which role. Now, let us step into a prepared speeches session. Just like the word love, every prepared speech is a reflection of passion, effort, and the desire to connect. Each speaker today has spent time cooking up a thoughtful speech for us. Let us encourage them with our attention and applause. Our first speaker for today is Toastmaster Smriti. Toastmaster Smriti is a certified soft skill trainer and B2B sales professional with over a decade of experience. She is passionate about communication, leadership, and growth. An active Toastmaster, she has served in multiple executive and district roles in Toastmaster fraternity, and she is an immediate past president of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. She is going to deliver her level 2 project 2 speech in the dynamic leadership pathway. The speech objective is the purpose of this project and speech is for the member to understand their communication style, identify their primary style, and share its impact on others. Her speech is going to evaluate by Toastmaster Mamta Jain and Toastmaster Nancy Goel. I request to say hi for your presence. Toastmaster Nancy, I can see. Toastmaster Mamta, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
All right. Thank you for the confirmation. Toastmaster Smriti, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. I can see you. I can hear you. Toastmaster Smriti, the human equation, Toastmaster Smriti, your time starts now.
If life were an Excel sheet, I would have a tab for everything: goals, grocery list, and even laundry schedule. Yes, I am that person, the one who color codes everything, even the socks in the drawer. But there is one particular tab I could never actually figure out, and that's people. Because they don't fit neatly into rows and columns. That's a difficulty. Some people, they lead with logic. Some people, they lead with heart. And I lead with a calculator in one hand and a lot of tissues on the other hand. But here's the real question from my end. What happens when logic speaks and empathy listens? When analysis guides and supports, it carries. That's called balance. And I define it as the human equation. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests of the meeting, a few years ago, I led a new project in my corporate arena. My analytical style of communication style was all thrilled for the journey. Charts ticked, graphs ticked, numbers absolutely on mark. And the timeliness? Oh, yes, of course. I color coded them in 3 different variations. I was all eager, excited, and ready to dazzle. I walked into the boardroom, the meeting room, and confidently presented my sales presentation to the VP of that particular meeting. I walked into the meeting room, the numbers started dancing, the presentation got glorified. And once the presentation was over, I looked at each and everyone in the meeting room and popped the question. Any questions, please? Silence. Dead silence in the entire meeting room. Not even a polite cough there. I thought, wow, Smriti, definitely, I must have crystal clear all the questions and numbers here. But later, my manager came up and whispered, honestly, Smriti, we did not understand exactly what you said, almost half of it. But you are confident. That scared us to silence. Ouch! My analysis, my analytical communication style had given clarity but not connections. That was my moment of epiphany. That day, the human equation hit me for the very first time. I realized that in leadership, be it at a corporate level, a profitable organization, or a non-profit one, the facts alone cannot build the entire room. Because sometimes people don't need only facts to convey their message. Well, facts might inspire, but the fear doesn't connect people together. My spreadsheet was right, but my people in the room, they did not understand me well. In not so comfortable manner, I understood to solve this problem, I have to build the human equation, which means I have to pair my logic, data with some empathy and emotions. I soaked in the entire message thoroughly. Fast forward to few followed up meetings. One of my fellow teammate was anxious about a high stake presentation similar to what I had few months back. She was worried. She was actually worried that she will forget the pointers, she will forget the numbers, and people might question her back or even question her credibility. She was worried about messing it up. The old me, if I would have handed her the entire checklist, even the bullet points, the script, or maybe even color coded the entire spreadsheet for her. But the new me thought to approach this situation in a slight different manner. I went and sat beside her. I sat beside her and briefly ran through the entire presentation and said, you got this. You definitely got this. Just speak from your heart. The data is already there in the presentation and in your mind. Let your passion show it. She faced it. With an amiable smile, she walked into the boardroom, the meeting presentation, and delivered not one of the best presentation, but definitely she nailed it. She nailed her confidence in the boardroom. As I said, she did not deliver the best presentation, but she conquered her anxiousness. And with her, I again understood the human connection. After the presentation, she was confident and I was full of joys of spring. Her energy in the meeting room filled me as well, and together we lifted the entire environment. That was the human equation in action. My supportive communication style did not replace my analytical one. Please do not get me wrong here. Rather, it reassured me that when empathy and analysis can work together, the result is more than just the sum of it all parts. Now, whenever I communicate, present a speech, talk to anybody, I run a quick check on myself. I do a small test. I ask myself, is it clear? That's the analytical side of me. And I again ask, is it kind? That's the supportive side of me. Because clarity without kindness, that's cold. But kindness without clarity, definitely that's confusion. So, what we can do? We can bring a balance, a connection which is called the human equation. So when I lead and I urge each one of these particular people present in the particular meeting room, let's aim to be precise, amiable, clear enough to guide, and warm enough to connect with people and develop our human equation. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Wonderful, Toastmasters Kriti. Give a big round of applause to Lady of Confidence. Now, let us go to the next speaker for today is Toastmasters Sachin Jaiswal. Let me introduce him first. Toastmaster Sachin Jaiswal, a chartered accountant and alumnus of IIM Bangalore and Columbia Business School, brings 23 plus years of finance expertise across diverse sectors. He currently serves as a chief financial officer at AZA Fashions, overseeing global finance operations in the US and India. He is delivering his Level 4 Project 1 speech in the Persuasive Influence Pathway. The objective of the speech is this project is for the member to practice strategies for adjusting to expected changes to a finalized plan. The first part of the member's speech will be a presentation of their plan, and few of the club members will then be invited to suggest disruptions to that plan. The member will need to address methods for managing the challenges presented by the club members. His speech is going to evaluate by Toastmaster Akshay and Toastmaster Puneet. I just wanted to confirm the presence of the both evaluators in the meeting.
I'm here, Shravan.
Yeah.
I'm here as well.
All right. So both are present in the meeting. So Toastmaster Sachin, are you ready? Yeah, I can see you. Can you speak so that I can confirm your voice is audible to all of us?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wonderful. Toastmaster Sachin, digitization plan, Toastmaster Sachin, your time starts now.
Good evening, Toastmaster and guests. As a CFO of a garment company, which you have heard during my introduction, today evening, I'm going to discuss about a digitization plan to automate the finance process of my company. My finance team is using an old ERP, and they are, they are doing a manual work most of the time, which is time consuming at the same time prone to a lot of errors. The aim of this digitization plan is to improve the productivity of the finance team, improve the efficiency of the finance team. So what is the plan? The first step would be to educate the finance team about the digitization, benefits of the digitization. What are the benefits of digitization? First benefit is to improve the productivity and efficiency. It also, clears the transactional activities, and the team can focus on the more value-added activities. It brings a work-life balance, which is the most important thing to the team. But there are lifetimers in my team who have great institutional knowledge, but they are worried that the digitization will take away their jobs, the automation will take away their jobs. That myth is there. It is very important to have multiple discussions with them to clear this myth. And it's not easy, but yes, explaining about the work-life balance, about the productivity, this will surely change their mind, and they will be supporting digitization. The second step would be to create a digital team of 10 to 11 people who are who will be from the existing team, who will have an inclination towards digitization, and these people will be responsible to drive the digitization initiative. The third step would be to create, to identify 10 to 11 projects which are manual. I have charted few projects in my mind, such as profit and loss dashboard and revenue dashboards. But I'll be discussing with my team, brainstorming with my team to finalize, to identify few more projects. The fourth step would be to create a work breakdown structure, which will have a clear timeline, task for each project, and also team working on each project. And what is most important is to calculate the return on investment of each project in terms of man days and cost. Now with this, the other fourth step would be to have buying of the tech team. The tech team is very important, and for successful implementation of this project, the partnership with tech team is very important. The fifth stage will be to have a every week meetings to monitor the progress of the digitization project, whether it's going the right direction, whether they are having a problem. This can be discussed in the weekly meetings. And the sixth thing would be, to discuss to create a user acceptance test team, which will test the success of the project. And each user team acceptance team will be responsible for the sign up of the project. And it's very important to celebrate each success of each and every project, and the team which will be successful and they will successfully complete the project will be given an opportunity to discuss this before the board of directors. And this digitization initiative will also be considered in their appraisal. So this is my plan, and now I'll request the members to ask any questions they have.
Sachin, if I may,
Yeah.
am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, Sachin, I went through the plans which you have suggested, and let me be candid by saying that as a listener, I felt it is highly optimistic and less practical in implementing. I'll tell you why. When I was listening through your plan, I was a bit confused with respect to, are you going to have a lot of team? In one hand we are saying we will educate our team, and the other hand we are saying that we will bring people who are specialized in this particular field too. And third, you said you will have a team of 11 core member as well. Now, Mark, my question is, Sachin, what exactly we are aiming here? Our plan is to internally build digital marketers, or our plan is to have backup digital marketers? Because if our core team fails, this team can support. That is my first question. And along with us, in the similar lines, I also wanted to understand that, don't you think it might affect your attrition rate of the company? What if people are not comfortable to get educated and learn? Over to you, Sachin.
Very valid questions, Smriti. And first, I'll tell you that currently I have a team of 40 members approx. Now, the digital team I have chosen of 10 to 11 members who are like-minded team, and they have an inclination towards digitization. They will drive the project. As I said, in my team, there are lifetimers who are not so, who have a great institutional knowledge, but they fear it will take their jobs. So this the 10 11 people who are the digital team, they will drive the entire project along with these lifetimers, and they also have to do a task of explaining them. The biggest benefit of digitizing is that it will bring a work life balance if it is clear. So now what happens, the entire team slogs on till late nights, and slogs on weekends also. Once the digitization is there, the processes are automated. This will bring a real work-life balance, and that is where we are focusing to explain them that will bring work-life balance as well as improve their productivity. They can focus on better and higher end jobs. Yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yes. May I? Hey Sachin,
Yes.
so I listened to your whole plan. So I was having one doubt that how are we going to manage the historical aspect of the finance team, that they might be having a lot of data in that, in the history of the company, and shifting wholly to the digital system might, how are we going to integrate that into the system?
So good question. So we have tons of data, no doubt. See, we will digitize process by process. So I'm here talking about the finance process, which has got various functions like procure to pay, and then order to cash. Procure to pay is basically your when you have to purchase something and make the payment. Order to cash something when you receive the money from the customer, and then how you account for it. So, and they are reconciliation process. So this will be done step by step, and when all 10 11 projects are all done, they are all automated, things will be automatically streamlined. Now coming to the point that handling of data, see, initially when we are doing the digitization, team has to handle two sets of data, one from the old system, one from the new system, right? So because one will be quite manual, and then that has to be automated, transferred to the automated system. So there'll be some confusion initially, but with a clear work breakdown structure, with a clear plan, these things will be brought under control. And as you said, data is definitely important, and to preserve the data is also very important. But digitization, once it is done, you will understand that it makes a lot of sense to the data. For example, if I use a Power BI along with my manual Excel sheet, the Power BI along with the ERP will make a lot of sense. It will throw the graphs and all. So graphs and all, pictorial representation and analysis, that will be really, really powerful and impactful for the company. Hope I have answered your question.
Yes.
Sachin,
Yes, Sachin.
Sachin, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't think you're living in 2025, Sachin. You are living in 2015 or 2010. We are way beyond digitization now. What is your budget? This train has already passed. And who will be responsible if things go wrong? What if you send 100 crores to Nancy and you're supposed to send 100 crores to me? Who will take responsibility if you automate everything?
See, when I say automation, and I'll be using a lot of AI. So I'll tell digitize
We
the
will send our data to Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay. So there'll be no end to digitization. At any time, every new technology comes. For example, now AI is there. There's a different forms of AI. The moment we hear the names, agentic AI and a lot of names, right? The moment we hear them, after 2 months, that becomes old. So digitization is a process which will never, so there's no end to it. If you say, okay, you have missed the bus, I don't agree with that. The bus is always there. It's only thing you have to change the mindset of the company. Now coming to automation.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. This is a family business. What will this AI do?
Okay, let me tell you, AI in alone is not going to serve our purpose. AI can, automate the process, can throw insights, churn the data. But important thing is the human oversight is always required. Because a lot of time we have seen that the AI, although it gives 90% accuracy, but 10% errors are there. So I'm not saying totally there'll be human oversight. That's why I'm saying the team will be doing a value-added process. AI will do the data churning, analysis and all, but the human oversight is definitely required to check the data which AI is throwing. And there'll be checks and balances. Not that we have done the automation of the process and check his process and we'll go. There will be checks and all. There'll be approver, checker, maker, and approver process. That matrix will always be there. So your money will be safe. And in fact, if you don't go for digitization, I'll just give you an example of logistics process. In my company, I am processing almost 1 crore, more than a crore of logistics invoice every month. So yearly, we are processing almost 14 to 15 crore of logistic invoice. Now, manually, it's not possible to check each and every invoice. Even if I depend on human being, he will check out of 100, he will do a random check. And out of, let's say, 100 every day, in 100 invoices, he will check maximum 10 to 15. 85 is not going to check. That will always subject to errors. So we have seen that if it's automated, the machines will throw a correct number. The errors will not be there in machines. Yes, we have to human oversight to read those data which machines submit. There may be some errors, 5 to 6%, but 95% will be correct. Hope that answers your question.
Not fully, but okay. We'll move to the next one.
Sachin, I'm sorry, I just now left over here, and I would like to question when you do digitization, right? At that time, what happens if your system or maybe your software has been hacked? Do you have any backup?
Yeah, so when I do a digitization, always a backup will be taken every day on a daily basis. It will be on cloud. System hacking, that's a normal process, and we definitely have a backup, and the backend team will also be there. Will fix the backups very quickly. So that backup will be there on
Okay.
the cloud.
Any steps, what measures you have taken? You mentioned that you
See,
have taken something, right? Can you
what I'm
just know what kind of actions has team taken?
So right now, this is just a plan. We have not gone, we have not digitized. So I've just discussed a plan, but definitely we have a thought process where, as you said, if there's a system, there's a data lost or security is there, so we'll have that backup system. System will be the entire data will be stored in a cloud. If there is a problem, then we can retrieve the data from there. Those kind of checks and balances and data protection measures will be there.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Sachin. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sachin, you can wrap up and hand it over to Timot.
Thank you for asking all these questions. This they have given me much more clarity. Plan is we have made the plan, and I'm hopeful of implementing it and making the digital plan a success plan. And it has also got plan 2.0, which will be once we have achieved this 10 to 11 projects, we'll go to the next level of digitization, and the focus is to make the entire finance team completely automated, and so that they can focus on more AI analysis things and not on the only the transaction part. With this, I thank everyone and hand over the stage to the team of the day.
Fantastic, Toastmaster Sachin. It's really a nice simulation. Give a big round of applause to a meticulous gentleman, Toastmaster Sachin. Now, let us step into the evaluation part of this meeting. Now, I request our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Yogita, to take over the stage. Toastmaster Yogita, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shravan, for again handing over to me. All right, so let's start with our evaluation segment. Let's have a good round of applause for both the speakers that did wonderfully well, especially Speaker 2. This project was really difficult, but he attended it quite well. And also to Toastmaster Smriti, but then we all know that she has been a wonderful speaker. All right. So Toastmaster Smriti would be evaluated by Toastmaster Mamta Jain. She is a unique blend of creativity and logic, an engineer and designer who loves painting and yoga. Toastmaster Mamta Jain, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita. What a privilege it is to evaluate such a thoughtful speech today. Our speaker, Toastmaster Smriti, took us on a wonderful journey, and I will reflect on the strengths I saw and a few ways to make it even more impactful. You greeted everyone with an amiable smile that instantly created a warm connection right from the beginning. Let me start with commendations. From the very beginning, Toastmaster Smriti, you grabbed our attention with a thought provoking title, The Human Equation. Your opening by relating life with Excel sheet, graphs, charts, and numbers was mysterious and powerful. It made us curious to know where the speech was leading. The use of calculator and tissue papers as props made your speech even more engaging and memorable. Your voice modulation stood out. The flow was very smooth with clear objectives, and the pacing of your words was well handled. Your body language was effective with expressive hand gestures that added life to your delivery. The speech had strong points and the structure was easy to follow. Now, moving to a few recommendations. You could add more emotion to make us feel more connected and hooked, especially when you were narrating the incident of your worried friend, when you sat beside her and gently told her to speak with your heart. And now back to recommendations. Back to commendations. Your eye contact created a strong connection with the audience. It made us feel included. The transitions were seamless, guiding us effortlessly from one idea to the next. The best part of the speech was the powerful message, the way you related clarity and kindness with our communication. This not only added depth and value to your speech, but also ensured that it became truly memorable for the audience. In summary, Toastmaster Smriti, this was a power-packed performance, amazing. With just a few refinements in emotional expression, your already impactful speech will shine even brighter. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Yogita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamta, for that wonderful evaluation. I'll come back to you. First, let's hear for DTM Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel. Although she has been introduced earlier and you have been all observing her throughout the meeting, I would just say that she's a wonderful person with a beautiful smile. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yogita, for a warm introduction, truly warm. Toastmaster Smriti, the human equation. The moment you started with the speech, I just felt related to you because the topic that you have chosen today is something I could clearly relate from the moment go. Why? Because I also feel that it's easier to figure out all the Excel sheets and all the numbers, but difficult to figure out human equation. And to top it all, what you have done today, you have actually created an equation for me to figure out the human equation. So thank you so much for a very clear and concise message that you have given to me as a listener and to all of us as the audience. Talking about your project objective, you have clearly communicated your communication style and how you have improved on your communication style throughout, and gave us an equation where we got to know that, okay, Smruti is someone who's analytical but also supportive. So we got the message clearly about your communication style as well. That was your project objective. Now, talking about other good things about your speech today, you have ample usage of vocal variety, body language, to top it all, rhetorical devices from anaphoras to rule of threes to uh, I think idioms and phrases, and including the word of the day and the phrase that was given by our language evaluator. So, all these things put together, I am heavily impressed by your speech and I loved every bit of it. Now, in my humble opinion, I would also like to share a few things that you can use to take your speech to next level. When you are a speaker who is using body language like this, that's gold. I expect you to be less conscious about your device at the same time. There were instances of in your speech where I felt that you were very, very conscious of your device, whether that's your script, whether that's the audience, whether that's your teleprompter, or whether that's being unconscious of the camera. Whatever was the reason, that I don't know. But what I know is time and again, you are moving towards your laptop and you're trying to figure out something on your screen. And that's where I felt, is it all scripted or is it the real Smriti? I want the real Smriti as a speaker. So if you are not very conscious of your device and just be the real you, by looking here and there and ensuring that you're not just coming back to your device time and again, that will give us the real Smriti. That's one. Second, rhetorical devices, done. Enough for us, done. Everything put together, all good. Pronunciation, I think this is where one or two places I felt the pronunciations were not appropriate. I will share these details over chat with you about the pronunciation part, but I expect you to work on your pronunciation at certain places and being unconscious of the device and all the world all around you. You are a fabulous speaker. Please keep it up.
Thank you to distinguished Toastmaster Nancy for that wonderful evaluation. Can we have a round of applause for our wonderful speakers, all three speakers? All right, I'll share my evaluation. So Smriti, as usual, I was impressed with your speech. You had a wonderful storyline. I'm not going to again tell you about recommendations, commendations. TTM Nancy and Toastmaster Mamta have given you all. I will just say, yes, I thought you were conscious. I didn't think it was scripted, but I thought maybe there is something bothering you over the screen. Nonetheless, it was a very well structured speech and impactful. Distinguished Toastmaster Nancy, awesome evaluation. You have given a very comprehensive evaluation. You have covered almost every important aspect which I had noted. So nothing for you, as always. And Toastmaster Mamta, you made a very good attempt, but after hearing all everything you have shared, first you shared commendations, then you shared recommendations, then you shared commendations, and then you shared commendations. So Toastmaster Mamta, I'll just have one recommendation for you. This is also a sort of a mini speech, and if we have a structure in any evaluation, that will give the speaker to at least analyze what he or she has to work upon. Because again and again, if I tell you a commendation and then I tell you a recommendation and vice versa, constantly changes, you'll not be able to focus on one aspect. So having clear points in mind helps the speaker stay focused and makes your message more credible and stronger. Just that. Apart from that, I'm sure you are here learning and you did a wonderful job with your evaluation. Moving ahead, we have speaker 2 who attempted his speech of level 4. That was Toastmaster Sachin. And for Toastmaster Sachin, the first evaluator is pardon me, my screen is taking a bit time to load the introduction. All right. Okay, so the first evaluator is the distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh. Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh is a seasoned Toastmaster with 80 plus months of leadership and communication experience across corporate, community, and advanced clubs. Wow. A senior data and DevOps engineer at IDFC First Bank, he blends technology with creativity through poetry, cycling, and volunteering for social causes. A podium finisher, trainer, and mentor, distinguished Akshay, the stage is all yours. Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay, the stage is all yours.
Happy evening to each and every one of you. Speaker Sachin, I really enjoyed how you presented the plan as well as you faced the questions asked by the audience present on this virtual platform. Let me highlight the areas which I would like to commend you and your efforts. The very first part, you mentioned what role you are currently into and what is the plan about. That was clearly presented, which let me know that, okay, this is what you are going to speak and this is the background which you come from. The second part, which I enjoyed and I would like to commend you, on the 8 steps which you shared, each steps, it were thoughtfully thought through a flowchart. You wanted to do this first, then this, then this. It was well structured, I would say. The third part, which I really recommend you, is how you responded to the questions. Each and everyone, when asked a question, you pondered for some time, then you responded back to them. Sometimes the question asked by the audience was added with another layer to it when you were answering. You paused, you patiently waited for their questions to finish, and then you had responded to the question. So, kudos to you. These three elements of your speech and the plan which you presented is something which I really like. Now, let me share the areas of growth where you can really work on to structure this plan in a much better way. When you mentioned about digitization, automation, and I believe all three terms are a bit different. Digitization is all about you adopting technology. Automation is you want technology to do those tasks, whereas AI is adding intelligence. So if you would have researched for your plan and given certain anecdotes, like from which research you have picked these points, and why do you feel that this plan needs to flow in this particular manner, would have helped me gain what kind of research you did. Maybe being from a technical background, I would have loved to collaborate with you later on to share some inputs. The second part, at the end, when all the questions were done, while you summarized, you said that I am going to go ahead and implement this plan, hopefully. It's good to say that. But what I heard next statement was you mentioned after this, I'm going to go ahead and plan my next plan, which is 2.0. I would have loved if you'd have phrased it a bit differently. For example, you would have said, thank you everyone for asking your questions. I'll incorporate your questions, think about them, and revise my plan to implement it, and then take up the next part, which is the 2.0. That would have made us aware that no, the questions which we asked, you really want to incorporate them and revise it. Third is what I felt how you presented your plan. I could only see your face. I was not able to see your gestures. You could have maybe used a board, you could have written those scripts, you would have created a flowchart and made me aware as to how the plan is visually flowing. That would have helped me retain that plan in my mind for a longer duration. Overall, Toastmaster Sachin, I really commend you as to setting the credibility as to from which environment you come in, what are the 8 steps which you want to do, answering the questions with patience, and only 3 areas which I feel you can incorporate for this plan or any other speech to be presented better is first, incorporating feedback, mentioning that you would do that. Second, researching a bit about different terminologies and jargon so that you can incorporate them effectively. And third part would be to ensure that you have some visual aids because this is a plan which you are presenting so that it can be remembered by me. Overall, Sachin, you did really well. Looking forward to hear you again. Over to Yogita.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Akshay. It was a well-phrased evaluation. Moving ahead, we have Toastmaster Puneet, who will be again evaluating Toastmaster Sachin. Toastmaster Puneet is a dynamic force in the world of ideas and inspiration. He is the producer and host of the Galata podcast, a show that lives up to its name, Galata, meaning lively noise or rakas in Kannada. All right, Toastmaster Puneet, the stage is all yours. We are all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita Upadhyay, and to my target speaker, Sachin Jaiswal, and everyone else. Good evening. Sachin, I admire your ability to stay professional through a difficult project. You had a clear plan, which you walked us through, and then you answered our questions in a very professional manner. So I liked and admire your ability to do that. A few recommendations from my side is I would have liked had you set the context beyond yourself. Who are we, the disruptors? Is it a boardroom meeting? Is it an internal team room meeting? Where are we? What is our role like? And with that context, we would have had a better understanding and authority whether to approve your plan or whether to ask you for permission to choose which part of the plan to choose or look for what are you going to assign us. So that context setting was important. Another bit is the way you're framed the camera, it feels like you're looking down to us. Now, it's okay if it's a team that you lead, but if it's a board of directors, I would suggest either keep it at eye level or above that. So there is a sense of equality or a sense of respect, either way, depending on the context. The second bit, which I felt was missing in the how, was that the engagement dropped because I couldn't see your hand gestures. I could, at most of the time, just see till probably your mustache and not even your chin. To probably prop your camera down so you get at least your elbows, if not your forearms, into the frame. Thanks for stepping up. But adding hand gestures is important. There's tremendous amount of scientific studies which show that including the hand gestures in virtual contexts improves trust. And this being a critical meeting for you, where you are proposing a plan that will change the organization, you need to get those minor details in place. The third bit, which I felt dropped the engagement, was you had 8 steps. I would have preferred had you had just 2 to 3 steps. The big headline agendas, the detailed one, you could have just used a statement or two saying, we can take it forward in the next meeting where I get into the details of each of the phases or each of the steps. So just headliners would have been relevant had it been for board of directors. That's what I'm assuming. You're presenting it to the board of directors of your company. Your language is professional, it was business professional, yet you had jargons in it. And there was moments where you said in my organization, or you dropped in BI and all of that. Perhaps if I was you, I would say, like, business intelligence or BI, and then continued. That would have set the context even better and improved the engagement. Your energy was upbeat, but when I challenged you with a rebuttal or with the child's noise as a disturbance, your pace went up. So maybe look at that aspect of when you are presenting a critical aspect of a project to a newer audience, you might be disrupted by God knows what. Okay, so keep that in mind. Finally, I would look at set the right context, set the right frame. You are presenting, this is your project, this is your responsibility, so you get to lead. Make sure the camera angle is right, the way you're looking at the audience is right. When they raise the hands, you notice that they have raised the hands. You acknowledged everyone who asked the question at the start and at the closure of it. So kudos for that. And the last bit is I miss the deliverables and deadlines. When is this going to happen? When will I see the bottom line of it? So had you done all of this, we have gone to a way notch above. But having said all of this, I think you have it in you to be a brilliant executive, and I can't wait to watch your next speech. Thank you, and back to Yogita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneet. And can we have a round of applause for all of our wonderful speakers? Again, 3 speakers. Coming on my recommendations, I really do not have any recommendations for the evaluators that did extremely well. Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay covered most of the analysis, and Toastmaster Puneet, you gave very relevant and excellent recommendations, some of which I was about to say, but then you've covered it all. All right, Toastmaster Sachin, I'll just say one thing, as I agree with Toastmaster Puneet, it was a difficult project. You handled it well, but one thing, I wish you could have concluded it and made the conclusion more stronger so that we know what you are up to more better. Like now we know because we have heard, but people who have not heard, so just to get emphasis on that. All right. Okay, moving forward, I'll call upon my TEL team to test how active we were. So can we have the timer report, please? Toastmaster Gurdeep Singh.
Toastmaster Yogita. Toastmaster Yogita, we have one more evaluation by Toastmaster Priya Singh.
Apologies. My bad. I forgot. Okay, so we do have one more evaluation. I think Toastmaster Puneet is attempting his first evaluation. Is that correct?
Toastmaster Mamta.
Toastmaster Mamta. I am again sorry. I didn't go well with the agenda. All right, Toastmaster Priya. I'm sure you must have heard in the essay address. She is a very pretty lady, does exemplary well in her poems, and she's a marketing professional and accommodation in business management. Very creative person, and always you will see her active with her podcast, Soulful Scrolls. So Toastmaster Priya, the stage is all yours. She is evaluating Toastmaster Mamta, who evaluated Toastmaster Smruti.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Yogita. My target speaker, very well done. You fulfilled the purpose of your project as an evaluator. As an evaluator for the first time, you provided clear, constructive feedback And you did it with a lot of confidence and poise. There was, your observations were very insightful, balanced, and at the same time, you gave encouraging feedback as well as the areas where growth was required. So kudos to you for your evaluation. Few points that I would like to highlight, which would make your evaluation more impactful, which was something that is related to the flow of your speech. Evaluation is like a mini speech with an opening body and conclusion. So you were going back and forth in your flow, like recommendations first, then commendations, then back to recommendations. So just try to maintain a proper flow from opening body to conclusion. And secondly, another small suggestion is that always try to summarize your evaluation speech in your conclusion and summarize the commendations and the recommendations. And thirdly, you should try to also give a little bit of comments or recommendations or commendations on the content of the speech also, so that what you liked in the speech, what you found very effective, very impactful in the speech, you could even highlight that. So thank you very much. A wonderful attempt, and you fulfilled the purpose of your project. Just these 2 points of making your speech in a proper flow and a conclusion which summarizes your speech would take your evaluation to the next level. Thank you. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya Singh. Such a wonderful smile and a wonderful observation made. Kudos. Congratulations congratulations, Toastmaster Mamta, for completing the project. And Toastmaster Priya, I do not have any recommendations for you. You did extremely well. Just pointed out the right points. Now, moving forward, we have a TEL team. Can we please come up with a timer report, Toastmaster Gurdeep Singh? You're on mute.
Yes, so sorry.
I'm sorry. Is there a glitch? I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Hello,
Hi.
am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, please allow me to share my screen. Here's the timer report for today. Almost everybody has qualified, but Toastmaster Sachin in their first part have exceeded the time limit, and the evaluators for Toastmaster Sachin, they also have exceeded the time limit for their evaluation. So will it consider as disqualification?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So
For
this was the report for timer. I'll post.
DTM and Puneet are disqualified from the polling.
Yeah,
For
DTM,
Toastmaster
Akshay
Sachin
and
also.
Puneet are disqualified. Toastmaster Sachin, we can consider qualified.
Okay, I'll post the same in the chat, and back to you, General Elevator.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster Gurdeep, for that wonderful and crisp report. And keeping track of the time, it is a hard task. All right, moving ahead, we have a language evaluator, Toastmaster Praparna. Please share your observations.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Let me share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, kudos to all the speakers who have used word of the day and idiom of the day. We have almost 4 speakers using this word of the day and idiom of the day. Toastmaster Yogita Upadhyay, Toastmaster Michael Joshua, Toastmaster Smriti, and Toastmaster Mamta Jain. Let me come to the filler words noted. Many of the speakers have used a, and apart from that, the mostly used words, filler words are and end. When you are using end is a coordinating conjunction. That means you need to use it to connect the sentences of grammatically equal importance. When you are using that at the start of the sentence, it will create, uh, it will disrupt the fluency of the speech. Be mindful of that. The many of the speakers have used good number of rhetorical devices and the rule of the three. I can mention them. I can never actually figure out a hyperbole, calculator on one hand and tissue on other hand. Epistrophe, slightly different manner. Meiosis, thought process. Metaphor, already impactful speech. Hyperbole, weather and some other line, and weather and some other line. Anaphora, digitization, automation, and AI. Rule of three. This is starting, this is the ending. There is no satire, there is no parody. Uh, it is anaphora, magic trick, mind trick, epistrophe. Some noteworthy phrases or quotes. Pitch in, which is an idiom. Dynamic communicator, cooking up a thoughtful speech. Stepping up into evaluation. Comprehensive evaluation. Pardon me. Driving the project, procure to pay. Pondered, the train has already passed. Sense of equality, notch above, accentuating, ratifying that again. And a quote by Bruce Lee was also used. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who had practiced one kick 10,000 times. And this word, Repertoire, is repertoire, which is mispronounced. So the correct pronunciation is repertoire. And some good usages are dressed in pristine white. Satire is lesson, parody is game. Confidence and poise. Areas for improvement. If life were a Excel sheet, the right usage is if life were an Excel sheet. Digitization is pronounced as digitation. Please be mindful, it is digitization. Set in credibility is a wrong usage. You have to use it as build credibility or establish credibility. Characters from where? You can use it as from which source are these characters taken, or are these characters from? And starting eating the piece of paper. The right usage for this is consuming or ingesting the piece of paper, or tore and swallowed the piece of paper. Little bit of comments is a wrong usage. The correct usage is few comments. With this, my report is done. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Praparna. You did a wonderful job with that detailed report, and I'm pleased to know that every one of us did something good, something bad. Only one recommendation I have, sharing the suggestions, if it is possible, if we cannot share the names, because in your sheet it was clearly visible who did what wrong. Just that. Apart from that, great work. No comments. Just that's all. Moving ahead, we have the listener of the day, and we are also exceeding the time. So I will urge everyone, including me, to rush. All right. Can we have the listener, please? Toastmaster Michael.
Hello, General Evaluator Yogita.
My
Yes.
screen, there is a problem. Yeah, I can see you now. Can you stop sharing, Praparna? Thank you. Yes, Toastmaster Michael. We are all yours.
Yeah, so then I'll ask some three questions here. So from the education slot, the Toastmaster Rogan session, like how many tricks he has mentioned?
Four.
Four.
Four tricks. Four tricks.
Pause of power, three filter thinking,
Yes.
with the end in mind, and speak in images.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So what is the first powerful tool?
Story bank.
Story bank. Create a story bank.
Yes, correct. To whom Smriti showed her presentation to?
Manager.
It was a team.
Board of directors.
People.
Her board room. In her board
VP?
room.
VP of the company.
VP.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's all. Back to you, general evaluator. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was quick and fun too. I was enjoying it. I forgot that we are exceeding time. Anyways, thank you, Toastmaster Michael. Can we have a round of applause for my wonderful team, the timer, language evaluator, and the listener? Okay, now the overall analysis. I'll just be quick in this. Toastmaster Renu is poking me from behind. Yogata, be quick. Yogata, be quick. Okay, jokes apart. Bad jokes apart. All right, I joined a bit late, but I'm sure our Sergeant at Arms started the meeting on time because when I came, the PO session was happening. Our presiding officer today was distinguished Toastmaster Nancy. As usual, she did a wonderful job in welcoming the guests with her ever charming smile. The Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Shravan, you brought a very good theme. You have a soft spoken, calm voice. However, the energy was really low today, and at times the session felt a little monotonous. A small suggestion if the also I noticed if the timer was facing technical issues during the educational session, you could have stepped in and shared the timing instead, although he shared it in the chat box. But just for the reference, you could have shared it with everyone because you were handling the stage. Again, also, I understand time is limited. Adding a little interaction or any activity can make the session more engaging. Apart from this, you handled the stage very well. You handled the audience very nicely. The educational session was awesome, very well delivered and insightful. I don't have any recommendations on that. And that is that. In conclusion, today's meeting reflected our theme Love, Eat, and Pray. We saw love in the way speakers encouraged each other. We got food for thought from evaluations and the educational session, and we prayed for growth by embracing feedback with open hearts. Isn't that the beauty of Toastmasters? And also, how can I forget? I did a lot of goof ups by calling distinguished Toastmasters only distinguished masters. So, yeah, apologies for that. Moving ahead, that is it. That's my time for the day. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Yogita, for a wonderful evaluation. Just a moment, my screen got stuck. Yeah. After listening to the amiable evaluations for improvement, with full of joys of spring, I would like to conclude the theme. As we come to the close of today's meeting, let's revisit our theme, eat, love, and pray. When we eat, let's nourish our curiosity and hunger for learning. When we love, let's love the process of becoming better communicator and leader. And when we pray, let's be grateful for this platform that transforms us one speech at a time. Thank you for being such an engaging audience for today. I wish you all now change the theme from eat, sleep, and dream. With that, I would like to hand over the stage back to our beloved presiding officer, GTM Nancy.
Thank you so much, our Toastmaster of the day. Can we have a round of applause for all the speakers who have taken up stage today? Whether it's any role taker from timer to listener to T-mod to general evaluator, everyone who made this meeting happen. There are a lot of hiccups that happened before the meeting, and despite those hiccups, the meetings keep on going. That's the Gabby's way, and that will keep on happening. I would like to first acknowledge our VP Education of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. She's not keeping well. Her family is not keeping well, hospitalized, coming back from hospital. Despite that, she's ensuring that the meeting is happening. Our presiding officer, the president who was supposed to be the presiding officer, ankle got twisted and she's on bed rest for another 5 days. So despite that, she has been supporting us behind the scenes and ensuring that everything goes smooth. This is a spirit that the officers carry. This is a spirit that each one of the Gabby's officer and carry and ensure that things go smooth for all of us who are taking up stage, who all have actually come here to learn and grow. And these are the ones who are ensuring that you get that kind of support for each meeting. So kudos to each of the officer for making this meeting happen and each of the role taker who ensured that this meeting happened smoothly. Now, in the interest of time, I'll quickly announce the poll results. If you noticed, I've already shared the polls when the other speakers were speaking so that we get the results quickly. I'll start with the auxiliary role takers. We had some amazing auxiliary role takers, starting with timer, Toastmaster Gurdeep Singh. We had language evaluator, our newest member, Prapurna, EVLS, Prapurna, and Michael Joshua as listener. Out of all three, the best auxiliary role taker award goes to. I already see the claps here. Do you already know the results? Okay, clap now for our newest member, Prapurna, taking up her first language evaluator role today. Congratulations, Prapurna. Next, I would like to quickly announce, keep the spotlight on, please. Thank you, Zoom moderator. Next, I would like to quickly announce the main role taker for today's meeting, the best main role taker for today's meeting. We had two main role takers. One was the Toastmaster of the day who brought us the theme Eat, Pray, Love, Eat, Love, Pray, and to eat, love, sleep, or dream. And we had journal evaluator who gave us such an appropriate feedback for us to grow. Out of these two, favorite main role taker for today's meeting goes to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Shravan. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shravan. Can we put him on spotlight, please? Thank you. Now, next up is the speakers, the evaluators first. I'll first mention about evaluators. We had 5 evaluators in today's meeting. Out of those 5, 3 were the qualified ones. And out of those 3, 2 were the newest evaluators. One was attempting L1 P4 project and the other was attempting evaluation probably for the first time for an evaluator. So kudos to both of them, and the favorite evaluator goes to a TTM, the leftover one. So yours truly. Thank you so much. Last but not the least, two speakers. We had amazing projects, so much to learn from both the speakers, Toastmaster Smruti and Toastmaster Sachin. I must commend Toastmaster Sachin for attempting such a difficult project. It's not easy when people are poking holes in your project, and we have been through such situations for the ones who have actually attempted level 4 projects. But you sailed through well, so kudos to you for that. But for today's meeting, the favorite speaker goes to Toastmaster Smruti Mohanty. Congratulations, Toastmaster Smruti. I congratulate all the winners for today's meeting and thank you all the role takers once again for making this meeting happen. Can we have a quick screenshot of all the winners from today's meeting? Okay, anyone who's confirming the screenshot, Renu, is it you?
Yeah, it's done.
Shall we do it like this?
Yeah, we may please. Why not? Yes, Kriti, it's your turn.
Okay.
Yes. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much. In the interest of time, I'll skip the feedback. For any feedback, please share it over chat with one of our officers. And thank you so much once again. With this, I adjourn meeting number 10 of the Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters Club. Have a great rest of your evening, rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you,
I have a
everyone. Good
question.
night.